Welcome back to Big Tit Talk with JHAWK. I'm so excited to be back filming. I'm so excited to do this episode. What we're going to talk about today is energy budgeting. Energy budgeting, bitch. Just like, a financial budget or a diet, okay? We're talking about bringing awareness to who's in your energy, how to lower your tolerance to bullshit, those energy vampires, and that way you can empower yourself and take control back of your energetic wealth and your emotional well-being. I'm really picky with who I allow into my I'm friendly. Let's say that. I'm friendly, and you put me in any room and I can be charismatic and I can be outgoing and I can be very friendly to everybody. I'm kind. I'm pretty nice. I think if you've met me and you've seen a resting bitch face and have been scared, you just talk to me and then we'll be laughing in 5 seconds. But I do keep everybody at kind of an arm's length distance. So I have a side of me that can be personable, and then I have my inner core group of that's less than a handful of people that I actually trust with every cell of my being. And so that's what I'm saying about energy budgeting, because I'm just I don't have the budget per se to keep a big social circle around me. I don't care to have quantity over quality, because there's no way on God's green earth that you're able to have quality relationships with every single person the bigger your group grows, right? And that's family, friends, and whoever else that you allow in. So I number one, I just don't have the capacity. I don't really care for surface level relationships. I only want people in my inner group that I can trust, because I don't want to have to censor myself around people that are in my inner circle. So that's me energy budgeting is I don't have the energy to be oh, I can't say this in front of this person because, she's a yapper. She's yap city bitch. So I just don't have that in me. So I'm more a little cutthroat when it comes to friends. I'm a little cutthroat. I don't care if I've known you for 10 years or 10 minutes. I don't care if you're family. I don't care if you're blood, water. I just don't care who you are or who you think you are to me. Don't think that you are going to either treat me any type of way or try to get away with some kind of bullshit when it comes to me, and we're going to be all Gucci because I don't want to be alone. No, I'm not that girl. I'm good alone. And I'm not saying I get it, no man is an island. I get it that, you shouldn't isolate, but I do really think that because I am a hypersensitive, I'm an intuitive, I am an empath, I am somebody that, I always say to people is my emotions are right there at the surface. My emotions are my first language. So then it's English, then it's sarcasm. But I'm just saying it's I cannot allow my emotional well-being, and I think when we're talking about my energetic wealth and well-being, it coincides with your emotional well-being, because I cannot let that aspect of me get sick in any way, because other parts of me will take a hit subsequently. You know what I mean? So I just think that if I'm not emotionally well, I'll literally start to get physically sick. It's really crazy. Anyways, I digress. But I think that when I say taking stock and cutting people out and making, adjustments on who, asking yourself who in my circle is is adding to my life and who in my circle is subtracting from my life. Like, who am I around that I feel nourishes me, truly nourishes me, and who, when I leave, like if I spend time with you and then I leave, who is leaving me exhausted? Like, who do I feel like completely like I leave their energy and I'm just depleted because all they do is either take from you, and they just are like energy vampires, or the other case is they just have very toxic, negative energy. Like anytime you're around them, they're either judgmental or they're talking shit all the time. And it's just like, dude, it's just exhausting being around you. And we have all experienced that in one case or one scenario. That's just like somebody that, I mean, I'm not going to call people out right now, but I'm like, chill, Jessica. But anyways, I just think it's really important, especially holidays are coming up. And like I said, I'm not saying if I cut you out of my life, I'm not deeming you good or bad either. What I'm saying is if I cut you out of my life, like I don't give a shit whether you're good or bad for society or the world or whatever, or for you or for who is around you. I'm just saying like I'm deeming you not safe for me to be around. Like I think it's really important for and I think this whole year I've been like really working on like safety, like who is a person that, or an environment that's safe for me. And that's what I'm concerned about, because I think in my past, whether it's friendships or family or, relationships, that I haven't felt safe. And so I think that's part of, the energy budget or energy budgeting is who. So it's not like you're going around and saying like, oh, like, no, I hate, like, you're fucked up, you're a bad person, like, so you're out of my life. It's like, no, just figure out who's safe for you and who's not. And I'm not saying also that like you should burn bridges either. Like, unless you want to, unless they should be burned. But I think that there's a way that you can respectfully have discernment and then create boundaries in a way that just creates distance and not disrespect. You know what I mean? And I also think that half of the game is really just getting out of environments that are not serving you, right? Because like, I think that you just have more mental real estate when you release people or get yourself out of environments that either you've bonded through your trauma self, or the environment has just become toxic. And I think that birds of a feather flock together. We've all heard this, and like goes with like, and misery loves company. And you always need to know that growth comes with, when you grow, growth comes with loss. And not only, let me just say, is it okay to change, to evolve, or to outgrow people or environments? It's literally the whole fucking point of this human experience, okay? Because I cannot fucking stand when people are like, oh, you've changed, and then they're just, gossip, because that's all they have to do. They have no hobbies. But it's just like, babe, that's the whole fucking point. That's the whole point. That's like being a caterpillar and staying a caterpillar your whole life, while like, and then looking at butterflies and being like, oh, you've changed, and like looking down. What are you talking about? Like, that's the whole fucking point, babe. Come on, get with the fucking program. That's why, honestly, the best advice one best piece of advice I've gotten, I think, was from my attorney, and he actually gave me a lot of good nuggets. Probably more than my therapist. But he always said, like, I always like to be the dumbest person in the room, which I love, because goes with like, birds of a feather flock together, baby. So you gotta hang out with people that have similar goals and aspirations and or that are already there, or mentors, or people that you look up to, or people that, you want to be more like. And if you want to be somebody that stays a caterpillar their whole entire fucking life, then that is on you. But do not be uncomfortable with someone else's growth and try to unscrew their fucking light bulb hoping that it'll make yours appear brighter, because that's just not how things work, baby. And I hate those people. It's giving like the people who peaked in high school. It's giving the people who want to go back to high school. It's like, if you peaked in high school, I feel so sorry for you. I feel bad for you, because life is very long, and the point of the whole thing is to keep evolving, keep growing, keep learning, keep learning and working off those karmic lessons and leveling up in your little video game. You know what I mean? So don't allow anybody else around you. Just understand that as you grow, you will lose people. You cannot take everybody with you, and people will talk, because at the end of the day too, you have to accept that every relationship and every connection is basically an energy contract, right? You make an agreement, a mutual agreement between you and a person, and you're saying, I want to exchange energy, my energy for your energy. But if you switch your terms, meaning if you grow and now you're bringing a different type of energy to this connection, to this relationship, and they're not okay with it, it's okay to nullify null and void the contract. And again, you don't need to burn bridges, but you cannot get to where you're going by hanging out with people that are either don't believe that you can get there, don't believe in your goals and your aspirations, or there's people that don't believe in themselves, so there's no way that they could believe in you. You know what I mean? So there's like, in order for you to get to where you're going, you kind of need to be able to let the fat drop off, right? Cut the cancer out, let the fat kind of dissipate, and be on your way. And you don't need to be disrespectful, but you might need to distance yourself in order for you to get in your little fucking cocoon and fly the fuck away to where you want to go, okay? Because that's what we want to do. And if you look in your birth chart, and if you're like, oh, well, I don't know about my goals and aspirations, side note, if you look at your birth chart, girl, let me tell you a little secret. Run your birth chart with your time, with your place, time, and date. And look at your north node and your south node, okay? And basically what this is your south node. The whole point of this is a partial point of being, it really tells you about your karmic debt, what you came in this life with, like the baggage that you came into this life with. And then the north, so that's your south nodes. Think of your south node as like your hometown, right? And north node is kind of like where you want to go. It's like you come here and you're birthed into your south node, and you kind of want to level up, work off karmic lessons, learn the lessons, and kind of graduate. And when you graduate, like when you've done what you needed to do in this life, you'll make it to your north node. Some people will only say, speaking of those people that like will stay caterpillars, that means that it's not a bad thing, and I'm not saying that you're a bad person, but it's like if you stay in your south node, if you stay metaphorically, if you stay in your hometown your entire life, and you have an okay job, you live in an okay house, and you're okay, right? You're not doing bad, but you're also not super fulfilled, but it's kind of like Groundhog's Day, right? It's like you can live a satisfactory life in your south node, or, drum roll please, you can actually get in your fucking cocoon, do the work, be uncomfortable for a little bit, because either you can have these little, temporary satisfactions to give up your, long-term fulfillment. But if you don't, and if you actually make sacrifices to add towards or to make progress towards your long-term goals, and you actually do get uncomfortable, you learn the lessons, and you travel, physically or figuratively towards the North Node, then you'll live more of a truly genuinely fulfilled life. You know what I mean? And you'll be that butterfly, and you'll be fucking soaring around fucking sky high, happy as a fucking clam, okay? And then all these other people, it's just noise at that point, because you're just so happy, and you're just like, yeah, I would talk shit too if I was stayed in my South Node. So it is important to guard yourself, especially if you're emotionally gifted like myself. It is vital for your overall well-being, but your energetic health, that you guard yourself with having discernment and with our boundaries. Boundaries are important. We set them, we create them, we set them, and we hold them firm, girl. You need to first be committed to yourself. Then secondly, you can commit to somebody else if you choose to. But I think that the moment you feel that a relationship or a person is requiring or demanding too much of you or your life, that's the moment that you need to take a step back and reassess your commitments to yourself and take stock, have discernment, and create the boundary if need be. Especially if you're spiritually inclined like myself, or you've done the work on yourself. And so sometimes when you've done the work, or you have some kind of knowledge of something or if you have something that other people lack, sometimes they'll use you to, instead of doing the work themselves, they'll come to you for the answer, if that makes sense. But I think it's important to realize that it's not your job nor should you exhaust yourself alchemizing other people's negative or toxic qualities or energies or problems around you. You know what I mean? I think that that was a hard pill for me to swallow too, because it's almost like a martyr complex that I struggle with. And if you don't know what a martyr is, it's it's like you self-sacrifice or you self-abandon in order to save somebody else. So instead of putting my air mask on, I will save everybody around me, because I think it's part of my, my birth chart, my Cancer in me wants to breastfeed everybody. I want to save everybody, and I want everybody to be okay, around me. And if you're a people pleaser too, that's probably something that you have in your personality, as being a martyr. But sometimes you just do need to bow out and let life be their teacher. You know what I mean? People have a way of telling on themselves if you're observant enough, and you have the wisdoms to see through people's agendas if you only just pay attention. Listen to your intuition. What doesn't really feel right? Listen to that feeling. Where do you feel it in your body? And intuition is different from anxiety, let me tell you, okay? Where do you feel it in your body? Anxiety usually is in your chest, okay? And anxiety is usually fear-based, and it induces fear. That's your anxiety speaking. That's not your intuition. So your intuition is more protective. I think that the important thing, again, is to, know who adds to your life and who subtracts to your life. And when you pay attention to those around you, you'll start seeing, I call them closet haters. Those jealous, those envious friends that you can just tell. I mean, and I always have something new going on. I'm I've always been like a little weirdo. I've always been into weird shit, and I've always had new hobbies and stuff, and I can tell with like who's rocking with me and who I really need to be without, because some people, like, if they don't understand, and that's what I hate too, like, I can be happy for somebody even if I don't understand or I don't understand, or I don't share the same interests or goals, right? I can still be supportive. As long as you're not hurting yourself or hurting anybody around you, I can support you, genuinely support you, okay? I'm a girl's girl, okay? But some people can't. Some people can only celebrate you or genuinely like love to see you win if they've already achieved what you're winning at. So, example, like some people can only be happy that you just got engaged or you're getting married or you just got pregnant if they themselves are engaged, have been married, or had a baby. You know what I mean? There's some people that are closet haters that are, envious, jealous, that live in those shadow qualities, those shadow emotions that they'll clap in your face, but they're secretly like, I wish that was me, or that should have happened to me, or cue Justin Bieber, that should be me. My mind is just a playlist constantly. But you know what I mean? And that's just like such a sad way of living your life in that perspective and that mindset, because it's such a scarcity mindset. It's like, well, if she has something, then like it's less for me to have. And it's like, no, like the world is abundant. And if you switch from a scarcity mindset to an abundant mindset, shift your perspective. If you see your friend, if you really want to be married and you want to be in love and you want that, and your girlfriend just got engaged and you're attending the wedding of your girlfriend, like shift your perspective of like, oh, like I wish that was me, to like this, seeing you guys get married, seeing you guys find love, seeing you guys in this beautiful relationship really gives me hope that there is true, genuine love on this planet, that I can find myself. Like this gives me hope, because if you found it, then I sure can too. You know what I mean? How more beautiful is that way of thinking than being like, oh, like, so it's such a Disney villain, like, Wicked Witch, like mindset. Again, I'm going to always say this, it's unscrewing somebody else's light bulb will never make yours brighter. Okay, bitch. Fuck, dude. I've dealt with so many girls like that. Crazy, even like mother wounds, shit like that. And it's just like, girl, where your energy goes grows. Okay, so if you're focused on what you don't have, you're going to continue with lack in your life. Okay, but if you focus on growing and tending to your gardens, bitch, your fruit will bear. You will bear fruit. You will get there, but it's just water your own fucking grass and be happy for other people. Going back to paying attention to those around you too, like pay attention to those who encourage you to self-sabotage and indulge in self-destructive behaviors. Okay? Because like if you have certain goals, okay, so like if I was, wanting to run a marathon, which would never happen, but if that was like one of my goals, I shared that with my core group, and I had friends that were kind of like peer pressuring me to go out with them and drink with them and binge drink with them and go to fast food, and like totally derailing me off my goals. Like those aren't real friends. Like and also your real friends aren't always going to be nice. And that's what I always say too, is like, I don't keep a lot of people around me, and I've lost friends from this. I'm going to tell you the truth. And sometimes the truth hurts. You know what I mean? And sometimes people don't respond well to that. Some people want cheerleaders in their circle, and they just want people to blow smoke up their ass, and because it makes them comfortable to again, these are caterpillars. It makes them more comfortable to, everybody to be like clapping instead of like somebody checking you on your bullshit and being like, but when people actually check you on your bullshit, that's what makes you grow. right? People like, yes, people around you, all the yes men around you, that's not going to help you grow. That's going to help you stay complacent. You know what I mean? And remain a caterpillar. And I have always told people, I'm not the nicest friend, but I'm going to be your realest friend. And I'm going to check you and tell you what the fuck you did wrong in private, never in public, right? I'll defend you in public, but we get behind the scenes and I'll probably cuss you out and be, what the fuck are you doing? But I'm also going to help you fix it. You know what I mean? I'm like, all right, so let's make a plan how we're going to like fix this, correct this, because like we got to figure this out together. Also, too, those people that always will clown on you or joke, they're always making jokes at your expense, which also, every joke is like 50% real shit, or if not more. But if you've always have somebody like making jokes at your expense, like, what are we doing? Like, we're not on the playground anymore, and it's just, tell me, like, it's such an egoic fucking behavior that it's just, I'm so over that too. Because I don't fucking make jokes. And I love to joke around, okay, bitch? I'm a fucking clown myself. But I don't fucking make jokes about people that, and number one, I don't make jokes about people that with shit that they cannot change, okay? I make jokes on people, or like, I'll roast you if you're a fucking dick. Like, if you're an asshole, then I'm gonna fucking I'm gonna tear your shit to shreds because you're just a fucking asshole, right? But I'm not fucking making jokes on people on shit they can't change. They have no, like, I'm not gonna joke about somebody because they're short, or I'm not gonna joke about somebody's weight, or I'm not gonna joke about somebody's, somebody having acne, or somebody having a lisp, or somebody, I'm not joking about shit that people can't change, and some people do, and it's just such when they do that, it's projection of their own insecurities, and it's so fucking pathetic. It's low-hanging fruit, and we're over it. So those are the people that you need to fucking cut out. Also, too, is when you pay attention to those around you, is pay attention to those who actually fucking check in on you, okay? Pay attention to those people that aren't just sending actually give a shit and check in on you and say like, hey, I love you, how are you, been thinking about you, and they're not just sending, the typical dry surface text of like, because there's some people, like, if something happened in your life and for some reason it was public and people know that you're going through something, then you'll probably get a lot of blown up messages of like, oh, no, like, just thinking about you, sending you thoughts and prayers, thoughts and prayers, thoughts and prayers. And it's like, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about those real girls, your real friends that truly check up on you, okay? Because there's also people, and I'm one of those people that I will isolate when I'm going through something. I'm not somebody who likes to drag other people in my bullshit. Like, I'm somebody who, if I'm ever going through something difficult, or a really, if I'm hitting a depression, if I have a lot of anxiety, if I'm in a problem if I get myself in a little pickle, or I find myself in a trench, like the trenches, okay, then I will isolate to navigate my feelings, my thoughts, and like figure out a plan in order for me to get out of my little trench, okay? And my friends know that about me, and so what we've kind of done, what we've made is, we call it a pulse check. So sometimes if you have friends like me that do self-isolate, a good way is just to do a pulse check. And normally they'll just text me and they'll say, I'm pulse check, like, all right, is everybody it's like Titanic, is anybody alive out there? And so I normally will get those, but it is still nice to, especially like, I know I self-isolate, but it is nice to know that the people that truly love me will reach out when they haven't heard from me, in a few days, and make sure I'm still alive. So those texts mean a lot. And, check in with your friends. How are you? And notice who doesn't check in on you if nothing's happening. Notice who only is contacting you when they have something to gain, right? And they're only hitting you up if they need something, or if they need you to solve a problem, or whatever the gain is. Like, that's probably somebody that you need to, create distance or not respond to. And like, not also, no is a full sentence, okay? I have no fucking problem saying no. Like, people are like, hey, you want to do this? And I'm like, no. And if they're like, why not? I'm like, because I don't want to. Like, I don't get it. I'm not trying to be mean, but I'm just saying, like, I'm at this stage where I'm just like, there's some situations that either I know aren't good for me. Like, if I go, I know I'm going to expense a lot of more of my energy budget that I'm willing to spare at that moment. Or maybe I'm just not in the energy to, like, if I'm not in this space in order to share my energy with anybody, then I'm not in that space. Like, if I have nothing to contribute that's positive to a situation, then I'm not coming, period. And there shouldn't be this, like, fight over, or, you're also understand this is that other people's emotions are not your responsibility. And I think when you wrap your mind around that and really understand that and believe that, then you'll let go of the whole, like, because I think I said this on like episode 1 too, is that I was creating and setting a lot of boundaries, and I was dealing with an aftermath of like guilt and shame from the people I was setting boundaries with. There was just that underlying guilt and shame I was holding on to, and I've kind of let that go by understanding that my peace needs to be my priority. Like, the protection of my energetic well-being, my emotional well-being and wealth, my energetic wealth and my emotional well-being needs to be my priority over like understanding or considering other people's emotions. Like, your emotions, how you feel, how you react, how you respond to what I'm doing is none of my fucking business, to be honest. And I don't mean that to be mean, but I'm very, very serious when I say that. And also understand that people aren't possessions, and they're not property, and nobody is entitled to any part of you for any amount of time that you are not comfortable with. And you don't owe people a motherfucking thing. So you are allowed, you know what? There needs to be a universal understanding that we get to experience people, right? But people don't owe you fucking shit. And especially not any part of me. And people have this way of getting addicted to people, and they get like attached, especially if you're a light worker, if you're an empath, understand too, if you're an empath, narcissists prey on empaths, okay? So be very aware of that. And you are the one that says, oh my gosh, wait, I think this is in Julia Roberts. What's that movie called? I say when, I say how, I say what. What's that fucking movie called? Dude, I'm so bad with names. Where she's a fucking hooker. You know. Anyways, and we want to be self-aware too, because understand that everything is energy, okay? Everything, every thought, every little fathom of a thought in your fucking brain that maybe you've never even verbalized. That's energy. That's how you can send out. There's unintentional and there's intentional evil eyes that you can send out, that you could probably think to yourself like, oh my God, why is my life so shit? It's probably because you can't get out of your own fucking way. To be honest. And you might be sending out all these fucking evil eyes, and you might be that, living in your shadow but like you can't figure it out because you're like, well, I don't do anything. I'm a good quote unquote good person. Oh, I'm not. You may be nice on the forefront, but people lie, but energy doesn't. And so if your energy says otherwise, if your energy is ugly, if your internal world is ugly, that's going to mirror your external world, baby. So you might be swiping your karmic credit card more than you're willing to admit externally. And what I mean by that is that every time that you're internally experiencing these or sending out these unintentional evil eyes, like you might not be coming up to me and socking me in the face, or you might not be coming up to me and being like, you don't deserve that, I deserve that, you fucking see you next Tuesday. I was about to you fucking no, but you might not be doing that in real life, but if you're doing that inside, the universe hears you. So that might be another reason why that you haven't received any manifestations that you've been trying to work on, is because the universe is bombarded with what's going on in your internal world and is disgusted, bitch. And if you do think that you are somebody who needs to work on what's going on internally, and again, I'm not saying that these shadow emotions, the envy, the jealousy, any kind of emotions like that doesn't make you a bad person. That makes you human. You are in the human experience, experiencing human emotions. But what I'm saying is, if you don't shed light on those shadow qualities of yourself, or those quality emotions that you're experiencing, you will be sending out energetic vibrations that are not going to return in your favor. Just focus on your shadow work. Focus on why you feel. Question yourself. What is the motivation? What is the trigger? What is the attention behind your thoughts, words, actions? You need to bring like conscious awareness to like be the thinker of your thoughts. Be aware, or when you're feeling, or when you're overwhelmed with a feeling, and maybe you're embarrassed of, or you're feel ashamed of, because I've felt jealousy before, I felt envy before, but I shed light on them. And so we're not saying that by doing your shadow work you're never gonna feel these feelings ever again, because you are a fucking human. And so unless you turn like into a cyborg, you're gonna experience these emotions, these darker emotions that we're not necessarily proud of. But when you do shed light on these darker emotions, what you're doing is you're taking control back of, you're letting go of like, so say if you don't shed light on them, if you don't understand them, you never question them, you just kind of let them fucking go. It's like letting a toddler drive a car. It's like an active volcano that you never know what's going to trigger it, because anything will set it off, right? The toddler, it's like the toddler is the emotion and they're just driving the car, right? Instead, you don't want to put the toddler in the trunk, because you don't want to block your emotions from feeling at all. That's not good, because that's not good. Okay, it's like a bomb. But you want to put the emotion in the back seat, right? You want to make sure that you have eyes on the emotion, but you're in control of the car. You're steering the car. You're in control. And without shining light on these limited, if you're carrying around all these limited beliefs and all these insecurities and all these fears and all these, either from your internal world, from the past, or from your environment, you're basically like unknowingly or unconsciously allowing them to influence and limit who you are in the present. So that's like allowing yourself to, it's like allowing the toddler to drive the car, right? You're kind of like knowing that you're going to crash at some fucking point, or you're not going to go anywhere, right? So you're definitely not going to go where you want to go, right? So anyways, you guys, I hope all of my brain dumps and rants today made sense. I hope the maths, okay? It's been a while. But as always, I want to thank you all for your love, time, and support. And if you enjoyed yourself, then subscribe and like and comment because I want to hear your thoughts too. And with that, I will see you next time. Bye.
Look, I need a shout, no chase. My girl need a wine in the state. My mom need a house for the late. So I got some money to make. They told me I